once again, you will have a test. I'm leaning towards Wednesday because you should be able to get the review packet tomorrow, work on it, ask questions. Nothing we are doing today is any different from any of the other days. Mrs. Armstrong was here on Friday. She taught you guys the lesson, and she said, hey, Mr. H, we had a little trouble. Okay. So I'm going to reteach it. I'm going to reteach it my way. There's going to be a video this time. You're going to have that up online. So we are still in Unit 4. We are doing addition and subtraction. And this should be day 3-ish, day 4, day 3. There's really not a lot of days. It's really day 4 because we did notes on Friday, but...
Hey, Mr. H.
Hey, Mrs. Armstrong.
One thing I do want to point out before we get kind of into the meat and potatoes of stuff.
Yes.
One thing I noticed as I was going to write my first step up here.
Yeah.
The first step is circle each number and the sign directly in front of the number.
Yeah.
I think we really need to make sure that's happening today.
Oh, I would agree.
Yeah. I didn't see a whole lot of that going on.
No.
And I did express to them, man, when you guys get to 8th grade, it's huge.
Yep.
We have to circle the sign
Huge.
in front of the number. It's
Huge.
going to be, yes.
Huge.
Big deal. So today, it's a big deal. We need to circle the sign in front of the number, okay?
So, I like to start this off with a visual representation. If you haven't ever seen me draw, I'm such a good artist that it's unbelievable. Before we start, I'm going to let you know that I'm drawing a hot air balloon. Not that you won't be able to tell in a second, but I'm going to draw a hot air balloon, okay? So here's going to be my basket. Actually, I'll draw it with different colors. You don't have to draw this. I'm just going to kind of... So here's my basket. And it's a wicker basket. So it's got those crosshairs. Everybody see my basket? That's a good basket, right? Okay. Then it's got this little fire thing coming out of it. Because that's the gas that then the balloon... Shut up, shut up, shut up. It's a hot air balloon. Izzy. It does look like a light bulb, but that's my hot air balloon, okay? So anyway, there's my hot air balloon. We have 4 different options when it comes to addition and subtraction. We can add a positive to a positive to a negative. We can have a positive and take away a positive. We can have a positive and we can take away a negative. Okay? So here's the first thing. If I add air to my hot air balloon, which direction does it go? Up. It becomes more positive, right? So if we're adding, and air is a positive. So if we add a positive, it gets bigger. Everybody with me there? Okay. So if we add a positive, whatever our answer is, gets bigger. The hot air balloon goes up. Does that make sense? Like, really, does that truly make sense? If I add air to a hot air balloon, it goes up. Yes? Okay. What if I add a sandbag? What happens if I would add a sandbag to it? It would go down. So sandbag we're going to call what? Negative. So if we add a sandbag to my hot air balloon, it goes down. So if I add a negative, my number gets smaller. Still with me? Not hard, right? Like this should make logistical sense. Well, what if I subtract or take away air? Remember, air is a positive. So what happens if I take away if I take away air from my balloon? What happens to the balloon? It goes down. So wait a minute. if I subtract a positive, my number gets smaller. Do those all make sense so far? So adding a positive, it gets bigger. Adding a negative, it gets smaller. Subtracting a positive, it gets smaller. And now here's the tough one. So we're all up, I bought you all a hot air balloon ride. We're all up in a big old hot air balloon.
Did you really?
No. And all of a sudden, we're losing air, right? And we're going down. That's not good. So what could we do to go up? Well, I could say, oh my gosh, Carly, you're going over the edge, and toss Carly. But what would be a better idea? If we've got sandbags on our hot air balloon, we would take away a sandbag, right? Wouldn't that help us go back up? Because the less weight on there, the higher it rises. So think about this. If I take away a sandbag, so if I take away a negative, it becomes bigger or positive. If that's other work than math, put it away. No, put it away. So, adding a positive, number gets bigger. Adding a negative, number gets smaller. Subtracting a positive, the number gets smaller. And then this is the one that we really want to take a look at. Subtracting a negative becomes positive. Well, the only other thing that becomes positive, is a positive and a positive. So when we have minus a negative, that's the same as saying plus a positive. Everybody with me? Okay. So I might copy this down just to have a good idea of it in my notes. Would probably be a good thing to start with right now. Go ahead. So I didn't want you copying it down immediately. I wanted you listening. I'd copy down the hot air balloon. If you're a better drawer, go for it. But I want you to physically understand what's happening in addition and subtraction. And I've always found this example helpful. I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to say that subtracting a negative and adding a positive are like the same thing. Guess what else likes the same thing? Adding a negative and subtracting a positive are exactly the same as well. So as you're copying those down, we're going to come over here and we're going to take a look at the rules one more time. If you don't have these written down, make sure that you have those written down. That's really neat too. Thank you, Mrs. Armstrong. Okay, you're going to want to make sure that you have those because this is how we're going to do the lesson. You should have those. Let's see. Close enough. Okay, so there is only one new rule today. Only one new rule today. In. Actually, let's not go in. I don't like that. Okay, reset. It's a Monday. Reset. During. That's better. A subtraction problem. rewrite any minus a negative into plus a positive. Anytime that you see minus a negative, you should immediately rewrite it into plus a positive. Because when we think about taking away a sandbag, what happens? We're actually getting bigger. We're going up. So we want to write that as positive. And I'm going to show you how we can rewrite every single problem that I do. Every problem that we can do, we can rewrite several ways. If you do not follow the rules, you are in trouble. You're in trouble. That's all there is to it. So, let's start off here. 16 minus 30. Your first step is going to stay the same, but it's a subtraction problem. Is there a minus a negative? Or is it just minus? Just minus. Okay, so we don't have to do anything there. Your first step is to circle both numbers and the sign directly in front of them. I'm going to circle 16. Is there a sign with the 16? Well, there is, but it's invisible. What's the sign with the 16? Renee? Positive. What other number do I need to circle, Trevor?
The negative 30.
Very good. The negative 30. Same signs, different signs, Trevor? Different. So we forget the signs. 16, 30. Big number minus little. That gives me 14. Which number, 30 or 16, was the big number?
Well,
So we're forgetting about the signs. Which was bigger, 16 or 30?
30.
30. What's the sign with 30?
Negative.
Negative. There's my answer. So this was adding, or this was a positive and a negative. This was taking away a positive. How else could I write this problem? How else could I rewrite 16 minus 30? Does anybody know? What do you think?
16 minus negative 30?
No. That would make it 16 plus 30. I could rewrite this by keeping the negative with it and saying 16 plus a negative 30. Because the signs stay the same, we still follow the same rules. You can always rewrite the problem. I would make sure that you have that because that's going to be an important portion of whether you understand how to rewrite an addition or subtraction problem. Okay, do another one. Oh man, all my markers are bad. 37 minus a negative 40. 37 minus a negative 40. This problem, I want you to rewrite immediately. Why do I say I want to rewrite this one immediately? Can we even see this on the video? Yeah, kind of. How do we have to rewrite this problem? Renee? Yeah. The minus a negative is like saying 37, this becomes a plus a 40. Minus a negative, I'm taking away the sandbags, which gets me bigger, becomes positive. You will see most of your teachers later on rewriting it like this, saying 37 minus a negative. What happens when we have a minus a negative? Well, it becomes positive, and you'll see teachers do this, okay? But for right now, I want you to physically rewrite the whole problem. Do we know how to add 37 plus 40? Well, let's follow the rules anyway. I know that you know how to, but I want to stress the rules. Circle the numbers. Are they the same signs or different signs, Jackson? Same, because they're both positive. Forget the signs, we add them. 7, 7. If it's a positive to begin with, it stays positive. Questions there? Folks, this is all we're going to do today. On the whiteboards, this is all we're going to do. And you did this on Friday. Okay? The key is following these rules. The only difference from addition to subtraction is right here. If you see a minus and negative, you must rewrite as an addition problem. Questions? Okay.